Today we will hear statements by the honourable members for the District of Labrador West, Fairyland, St. John's Centre, Twillingate Mountains, Conception Bay South, Windsor Lake with leave. The Honourable, the member for Labrador West.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today to acknowledge Rayanne Brown, originally from Postville and now living in Labrador West. Rayanne is an Indigenous artist, author, and small business owner and operator of Inuki glass art. Rayanne's culture and traditions can be seen throughout her art and her writing, which helps to bring awareness of Indigenous issues and show the beauty of her culture. Rayanne started as a home-based business 10 years ago, selling her art and glass etchings online. The business recently expanded last year into a full retail location. Seeing a small business flourish in Labrador West is exciting, and to expand during a pandemic is encouraging to see for any small business. Rayanne is also an author. Her first book was a 30-page adult coloring book called Inuki Art, The Color of Our Culture, full of original drawings. Inuit knowledge and stories. Rayanne's second book is not yet released, is a children's book called Bedtime in Nunatsiavut, which was chosen by the 2021 CBC Short Story Prize. I ask all honourable members to join me in congratulating Rayanne Brown on her success and sharing her beauty and work with all of us. Thank you.
The Honourable, the member for Fairyland.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to wish a happy birthday to Mrs. Marie Sullivan, the oldest resident of Calvert, who is celebrating her 100th birthday today. She was born and raised in Calvert, where she still resides in her own home, caring for herself. She was the eldest of 9 children. Mrs. Sullivan left school at a young age to care for 8 siblings when her mother became sick. Mrs. Sullivan has 8 children of her own, 20 grandchildren, and 30 great-grandchildren. When her kids were young, she sewed most of the children's clothes and was the local seamstress for many residents in the area. She also enjoys knitting as a hobby. Mrs. Sullivan can put her hand to almost anything around the house, inside and out. She has a great memory and tells many stories of days growing up. She has travelled to various parts of Canada and the US. At the age of 95, she travelled to Ireland. She has a great interest in politics and keeps up to date on what's happening in the province. Mrs. Sullivan is still in excellent health. Mr. Speaker, I ask all members of this House to join me in wishing Mrs. Sullivan a happy 100th birthday.
The Honourable, the member for St. John's Centre.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. BGC St. John's, formerly the Boys and Girls Club of St. John's, offers programs and services to 750 children and youth annually, ages 5 to 18, from 2 locations, Buckmaster Circle and Mundy Pond. Food insecurity is a serious issue in our communities, and the dedicated 4 permanent and 10 part-time staff work hard to address it. Project Backpack sends children home each weekend with snacks and easy meals for families. One of the most needed and valued initiatives is Warm Bellies, a supper program providing some 50 to 60 hot meals weekly to children and youth who need them. Staff cook and serve the meals at the center. This program started when staff noticed that children were not going home during the supper hour and instead were waiting outside the doors until they reopened without having food. COVID-19 increased the need for the Warm Bellies program, Project Backpack, and many other programs offered by BGC St. John's. The pandemic also decreased fundraising opportunities. Now, more than ever, BGC needs our help to carry on its essential service to the children, youth, and families in our communities. I ask members to recognize and support the valuable work of BGC St. John's. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable, the member for Twillingate Mountains.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I pay tribute to the late Brian Rich of Napashish for a lifetime of dedicated service to his people. Brian left this world too early a couple of weeks ago at the age of 27. The primary caregiver to 4 small children, his heart was great and everyone loved and respected him. Although Brian was battling PTSD, many turned to him for support and encouragement. He is remembered as the caring one, big smile on his face, always saying something that made people feel better. Firefighter, Deputy Fire Chief of Napashish, in the last 2 days of his life, he responded to 22 call-outs, the highest number of debris fires that Napashish seen. He was a racer, with a warrior heart. Partnered with his uncle Gregory Rich, he took Kane's quest by storm. He raced in honor of his late cousin Bernice, stopping only after a serious accident broke his ribs and bruised his lungs, ending his race by medevac to St. John's. He recovered, ready to race again. I will end my tribute by quoting what he said from his hospital bed almost 2 years ago. Thanks, everyone. I will return for 2022. I got unfinished business to take care of. I want to fight like how the women fight for their lives. I want to bring awareness across Canada and Labrador about missing and murdered Indigenous women. Hopefully, next race, I'll get sponsored. I spent a lot of money on this race that I'll never regret. Respect the women. Please join me in applauding the life of Brian Rich.
The Honourable, the member for Conception Bay South.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Speaker, I rise today to speak at many Lions clubs throughout the province. 2020 represented 100 years of service in Canada. Canadian Lions clubs are being encouraged to complete centennial projects to celebrate this milestone. With cooperation and assistance of the NL Forest Ecosystem Management Department, the 51 Lions clubs of District N4, which is from Gander to Pooch Cove, will be planting 10,000 trees in June. Clubs have partnered with the municipality, scouts, cadets, schools, and many other community groups for this project. Trees will be planted in parks, sports fields, cutting areas, and fire damaged areas. Lions clubs are proud to partake in this program, which helps our environment. CBS Lions Club will also be participating by planting trees around community and a new community garden. CBS Lions Club also made a $5,000 donation to the CBS Community Garden Project in Kelligrews to help install a ramp in the area to make it wheelchair accessible. This annual project will stand as a living legacy to the Lions motto, "We serve," for many years to come. Mr. Speaker, I ask all honourable members to join me in congratulating not only the CBS Lions Club, but all participating Lions clubs from Gander to Pooch Cove. Thank you.
The Honourable, the member for Windsor Lake with leave.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you to my colleagues in the House for granting leave. Today marks the passing of a dear family friend and resident of Windsor Lake, Helen Lawler. Some honourable members will know of Helen and her life's work in healthcare. She was a dedicated nurse, a graduate of St. Clair's. Helen exemplified a life dedicated to caring and services to the people of the Northern Peninsula, the West Coast, and her beloved Southern Shore. Helen played an important role in the Department of Health and in the development of public health and hospital services. She never forgot that policies were meant to provide the best possible supports to individuals, and her voice was a constant reminder of kindness, generosity of spirit, and services. My condolences to Helen's brother Loyola and her family and friends. Thank you.